In my previous life, I was a bank manager, an area manager, a regional manager, at times covering for people. And during my career with a well-known high street bank, LinkedIn was a compulsory, okay? You had to be on LinkedIn because it was how we would get the brand out there, and it was absolutely aimed at these people. And a bit like Millie said, so she said, you know, it's aimed at professionals, it's aimed at certain people, certain businesses. But when I left after 34 years, I thought, oh, this LinkedIn that I've got, I need to get it working for me. And when I started my own business, I was in this world of social media and looking at different ways to promote myself. So I'm a business coach, a life coach. I specialise in personal branding and using your personal brand to raise your business and your personal profile. So looking at LinkedIn, it was really important for me to start to understand how I could get LinkedIn to work for me. And as I worked on it and as I studied it, I started to love it. And I love LinkedIn. And now I understand that LinkedIn is for everyone. And a bit like some of the things that Millie was telling us about, I feel that way about LinkedIn. I have a passion for it. So who here is on LinkedIn? Who has a LinkedIn profile? Everybody. So who gets clients regularly from LinkedIn?
That's a hard one.
Okay. LinkedIn, I get 4-5 inquiries a week, and I get 2 clients possibly a month, on average, sometimes more, from LinkedIn. So it does work. So do you want to know how?
Yes.
Yeah?
You're
ready? Are you ready to come on this journey with me? Yeah? So what is the power of LinkedIn? Why do I love LinkedIn so much? It's prime advertising space for your personal brand. Is LinkedIn about your products and services? No. Is LinkedIn about who you worked for and what you did? A little bit, but it's about what you did, and it's about your profile, and it's about how you can solve the problems that were talked about in the earlier presentation. So there are 3 key elements and some other bits and pieces that we need to look at with LinkedIn. So the 3 major key elements are, firstly, about your photo, and we're going to look at the importance of the photo and what that does for you on LinkedIn. We're going to look at the summary. You will be shocked at the amount of people who don't complete the summary. And then, people who do complete it, you will be shocked to find what some of the people put in the summary as opposed to what is going to make a difference to them. And then we go to that experience. What did you do in a previous career or life? And what is the importance and the relevance of that for what you're doing at the moment? So these are the 3 components. So let's start with the photos. These are examples of what not to have on LinkedIn. Is LinkedIn Facebook? No. So we do not have a group photograph, okay? LinkedIn is about you. It's about you, it's about your brand. We do not have your logo of your business. We do not have a group photo. We do not have a holiday photo. We have a professional head-shoulder portrait photo. We do not have really anything in the background because all eyes need to be on you. It's about you. We do not have, is it okay to say boobage? Oh, what's happened there?
I don't see a problem.
I'm guessing that some of you might not. Okay. We definitely do not want to be showing our cleavage on LinkedIn. So we don't want a group shot. We don't want a holiday shot. We want to be able to see you. We don't want you in the shadows. And if you are a photographer, for example, maybe it's a bit inappropriate, that lady with her camera looking shocked like it's all going wrong. So we don't want to photograph. We want to be humorous at times and we want to be engaging, but we do not want to be damaging either. So we want to have a professional shot. So what constitutes a professional shot? Some of these. Now, what's good about these shots is the body language. So if we look at the body language in these shots, they're head-shoulder shots. Their head's tilted. So when you tilt your head, what are you doing? What is your body language telling me? You're listening. You're ready to listen. You're ready to engage. So having a head tilt and leaning forward is that you're attentive and you're ready to listen. And when you're looking at that problem solving that we're going to be offering, we definitely want people to listen and we want people to be attentive. Smiling. So what happens when we smile? We become a magnet. A smile is a way of attracting people. When we smile, we look warm, we look approachable, we look friendly, we look ready to do business. So we want to be smiling in our picture. And it wants to be a very natural look. So our pictures are best when the background is plain, when we're smiling, when we're showing body language signs that we're interested in the reader who's reading our profile, and we need to be there looking professional, not looking as if we're drunk, not looking as if we're on holiday in a bar, looking as if we're ready to do business. So your picture is really, really important. So let's all go back and have a look and see what our pictures tell us. So, the summaries. I see clients who don't have a summary. And then I see people who think that a summary is a summary of their business. A summary is the products that they offer. And sometimes I see a shopping list of things that we can do for our clients, or a summary of the products that we have. It is a bio of you. The summary is a bio of you. It's about your personality, it's about your brand, it's about your values, it's about your why. We talk about this a lot as entrepreneurs, our why. It's very, very important that we have the why. Why do we choose to do what we do? Where does the passion and the love come from for the business that we have? And your summary is all about that. So your summary is going to be about your personality. It's going to show people what kind of person you are. It's going to show you about your values, and it's going to tell people what they can expect when they do business with you. Now, some of the ways that you can really get that summary to work for you is, to make it focused, to make it authentic about you and that you are this person. So I don't want anyone to go away and think about the ideal person that would be running a business like yours. You need to go and look in the mirror. We need to have a mirror moment when we look in the mirror and we think, okay, what kind of person am I? What drives me? And these are the things we need in our summary. Now, there are some ways that we can do that. So I offer psychometric profiling, but you don't necessarily have to pay and have that done. There are some free tests you can do, which give you, there's one called 16 Personalities, it's free. I do Myers-Briggs and Insights Discovery, but you can do little quizzes on Facebook, social media. You can be posting your results, and that'll be helping with your social media as well, making you more human. but it will give you some of your traits. Also, what you can do is sit down and just write a list of what words you think describe you, but you have to be very honest with that. So, for example, if I was to write a list and I wrote that I was quiet and analytical and possibly introverted, if somebody met me, words and figures are going to differ, and they're going to think that I'm not authentic. So if you're going to write the list yourself, you need to write it very honestly. And if you've got a role where you need to be very analytical or very studious and some of the words, then, and you are these things, then that's great. But you need to be very honest with your summary, because that's what happens. I don't know if some of you have been in the job world, when you have a CV and someone's told you what to put and you know that you're going for a certain role, so you kind of read the job description and then you make the CV look very much like the job that you're going for. But then what happens is, when you get the interview, because they've seen the CV, but then when you meet them, they're like, well, okay, they're not like that at all. Or LinkedIn's the same. So when we follow this process that we're going to go through, when we have an absolutely amazing LinkedIn profile, you're going to get people want to meet you. So therefore, you need to be authentic. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit like going for that job interview that you did the CV for, but actually you're nothing like that person. So it needs to be credible as well. So we talked earlier about how you can solve problems. Well, again, maybe you need to have some of the problems that you can solve or have solved in the past, and then why you enjoy solving them problems. So as a coach, I give people confidence. If you need to have confidence to achieve your goals, some of the clients I've worked with were very afraid of public speaking, and now they regularly deliver speeches. It could be something like that, where you're promoting what it is that you can offer, and in your own businesses you will have that niche that you'll be able to identify with. So that is where the relationship hook comes in, because if you're offering a service in your summary or saying an area of your expertise, then what's going to happen is people who are looking for that service or need to improve in that area or are looking for a similar deal or looking to get involved with something, then they're going to go to you. And that comes back then again to authenticity and credibility. So it's really important. Even some of my clients, they're network marketers and they do network marketing. If somebody's looking for a part-time business stream, then network marketing could be something that they want to get into. It could be something that they've got that they're going to offer out, and someone's going to look and they're going to see. So along next to your picture, also make sure that you've got valid what you do, what it is your field of expertise is. Because sometimes people can Google and they might be looking for certain products or services, and what's going to happen is they'll find you that way, and then you're going to get them to read your profile, and that's when they're going to build up that relationship. So it's all about being credible, and it's all about being authentic, and the summary is literally your bio. It's all about you, and it doesn't necessarily just cover the job you're doing at the moment. It's about your life, and you can make it funny, make it memorable, and use lots of action and buzzwords. So you proactively engage, you are reactive, you are studious, you are analytical, you are fun, you are highly motivated, you are positive. So think of those buzzwords and make sure that there's a littering and a sprinkling across your summary of those words, and making sure that they are, though, authentic to your brand. So the next thing is about experience. Some people, they get confused and they mistake activity for achievement. So when you start to put the roles that you're in and you start to put the businesses that you work for, does everybody just want to know what your business is? What company that you work for? No. People have got to that part of your profile by reading the summary. They've read the summary that's about you. They've connected with you and they want to know more about you. So when they start to read your experience, they don't want to know that you work for a major high street bank. They don't want to know that you work for a major corporate company. But they do want to know that when you worked for that company, what did you do? What was your area of expertise? And what makes you credible? So the first part of your experience is going to be what you're doing now. So that's going to be about what you do now, and it's going to be about how you help your clients, how you help your customers, how you run your business, why you're passionate, what you can do for people, what problems can you solve. It's going to be backed up afterwards by your courses, your training, your experience, previous roles that you've had. So as you go down to the job before what you're doing now, that is also really important. Some people, again, they leave that blank. But what you did before shapes your why. What you did before gives you credibility. It gives you the experience to be that expert. It shows people what your area of expertise is. So therefore, it's important for every part of your experience to be as robust, to be as positive, to be as engaging, and to be authentic. So you're going to put your first experience as being what you do now, and you're going to put what you do. You are not going to put that it's £25 for half an hour, or you're not going to sell at all. The only thing that you are going to sell is yourself and what you can do for the person who's reading that profile. And then when you go to the job before, you're going to put what you did and how you helped people, why you enjoyed that role. You will never ever put anything that you didn't enjoy about a role. You will never put anything negative. I've seen people who put this was the worst company I've ever worked for. I've seen some pretty shocking profiles. And if, for example, you do put things like that on LinkedIn, then who's going to take you on as a prospect? Because what they're going to do is they're going to think, well, when we part company, what are they going to say about me? So it's really vital that you find the positive in everything that you put on LinkedIn, and also you find the truth and make sure that it's very truthful. So you have to make sure that everybody knows that you are who you say you are. Because if you're looking to do work based on previous history, so I've been a coach and I've been a management trainer in this major high street bank. I've trained managers not just in the UK but in Switzerland as well, in other parts of that bank. Now if I hadn't done that, someone can watch this video, for example, and they can go on LinkedIn and say, well, she didn't do that. I can say that I was a bank manager, and someone can say, well, no, she wasn't. It needs to be authentic. So you need to make sure that as you go through everything, I know CVs have got that reputation, you know, for embroiling, but once you go into the social media world, you're out there and you're on a plateau and anyone can see it. So you need to make sure that it's fully honest and authentic as you go through. Now with the experience, it's so important that there's two key elements to the experience. So every job, yes, you need to say what is your area of expertise and what it is that you do. But then you need to think about, so what? So big deal. I do this. So I deliver workshops, I deliver training events, I do coaching with clients using Myers-Briggs. So what? What does that do for me? What does that mean for me? How is that going to make a difference for what I'm offering, for what I do? How is that going to support me? So you need to put the results that you've had doing whatever it is that you do. Some examples of some of your clients and how they've benefited. And they don't need to be identifiable, but just a true story that is about a journey that you took somebody else on. And then, who says? Who says if you do something that maybe it's, say, Myers-Briggs, there's a lot of people and a lot of things out there for me who quantify how it's affected them. So you can put some quotes, you can put some other recommendations, you can put some things in there about any product really that you sell. So, for example, if I look at Pro-Arginine, yeah, and I know that Fat Eye is involved with Synergy. So, what prize did it win, Fat Eye? Won a Nobel Prize?
Nobel Prize in 1998.
So Nobel Prize, so what? It does this. Who says it won a Nobel Prize? Does that make sense? So it's about that. And then what you do is you think about your recommendations, and your recommendation should be there to offer this kind of validation. So the rest. Right at the top, your current role. Now, a lot of people put that they're unemployed or they're currently looking for a role. A lot of people put that they're a managing director. A lot of people put that they're a sole trader. When people are looking for people on LinkedIn and they're looking for products and services, they don't look for unemployed, in between jobs, a managing director or a sole trader. They will Google coach, they will Google electrician, they will Google whatever it is that they're looking for. They will search, whatever they're looking for. So therefore, it needs to say what you do. So you need to think about your descriptor of what your role is. So maybe you are the managing director, but what is it of, what do you do, and think about those services. And also put where you're based, again for that local, because some people are looking in London, they say that they only want certain areas, and thinking about your audience. Number of connections. It's an interesting one because we looked at Twitter, we looked at Facebook, we looked at likes, and we looked at follows, and we said, well, that doesn't necessarily make a difference, it's about your content. Well, it's a different way on LinkedIn. The more followers you have is validation of how many people that you know. So the more people that you have as a connection on LinkedIn shows your network. The more people you have as well, they're more likely to maybe endorse you or maybe like or share the things that you've got. Now, you don't buy LinkedIn connections, but what I would say to you all is we're all networking. So, for example, we're all sitting here now. You would add everybody in the room. I would add everybody in the room on LinkedIn. So whenever I meet people, I will add them on LinkedIn. That's the first question I ask is, are you on LinkedIn? And then the more that you build up, when you post things, they go onto their feeds, and then when people like them and share them, then they go onto their feeds, and that's how you'll start to get more people to approach you. So there are two ways that you can attract people on LinkedIn. So one is to add everybody you meet and make sure that everybody you add is a genuine person that you've met. You don't buy people, I don't believe anyone's started that business yet, so you're all right, but you just add everybody you know. But then people say to me, who don't I add? There isn't anybody that you don't add. If somebody comes and they want to connect with you and you don't know them, you just connect with them. But what you do is you message them back immediately and you say, thank you for connecting with me and adding me to your network. please let me know what attracted you to my profile. And if there's anything I can do to help you, just you know where to find me, or just let me know. And that's how I get my clients, from people that I don't know. People that you do know, so if you go networking after today, you add someone on, and then they accept your request, again, you'll message that person, you'll say, it was lovely to meet you today at the Business Growth event. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks for connecting with me. If there's anything I can do for you in the future, please let me know. Because as people connect, they'll be reading these profiles, they'll be finding out what kind of person you are, what you can offer, and not necessarily they may not want your service now, but you're having that database of connections. Also, if we want to look at some of the emailing things that Millie talked about, when you add people onto LinkedIn, it updates your connections on your laptop, so you will get those email addresses as well. And as long as they're people that you've interacted with and that they know who you are, then it's a good source of connections as well. So, number of connections is really important, because if you've only got 100 connections, depending on what your business is, that looks like that's the net of your business, and that looks like the amount of people that you know. And obviously for the people in the room who've not embraced LinkedIn, I know that's not true, but there could be 10 people on your connections, and there's already more than that in this room. So you could double, treble, quadruple just by adding. I've got about 1,400 people on LinkedIn. And I know every single one, and the ones that came to me that I didn't know, I virtually know them. I know them on social media. They're people that we like and share, and then there's other ones that become clients. So it's not about having a lot of strangers, it's about having people that we know, like and trust. So filling in your education, that's really important, especially if we're talking, some of us may be a little bit older, we left school a little while ago, but what have we been doing? What courses, what qualifications do we have? It's important, especially if we're offering a service where we need to be a credible source. And we want people to buy into us. We need to know, they need to know what is our credibility, what is our training. So education is really important. The projects that we've done, so if we've done any projects in the past, it's really important that we publicise them. So they could be projects that we've done during all different periods of employment, but they also need to be applicable, to what we're trying to raise as this personal brand. LinkedIn groups is an interesting one. So there's two trains of thought about what groups you should join. Now, if I'm a coach, which I am, should I join coaching groups? Now, if I want to mingle and mix with other coaches, if I want to get ideas and things, new techniques, if I want to get the opportunity to speak maybe at different coaching events, then yes, I would join those groups, but the participation is the thing. When you join the groups, it's about what do you post, how do you participate in the group. Now, the other school of thought, if we're looking at getting clients and customers from LinkedIn, is about joining the groups where our target audience hang out. So if I join groups for bankers, if I join groups for people in retail, then that's going to be my target audience. So there's two trains of thought over what we should do. So I personally would say that it's a mix. You should have a mix of groups that are in your field of expertise, and you should also have ones that have got your target audience in. So if, for example, I know that you're in accountancy, then you'll be looking for groups where there's a lot of small businesses and a lot of people who have that need, as well as mixing with other accountants who may have an overflow of business or may have best practices that you can share. So, visuals. Yeah, LinkedIn is very visual. We've talked about the picture, but putting stuff on there as well. If you can, if your uni comes up or your school comes up, there could be a little visual with it. If you do volunteering, charity work, if you've worked for some major high street bank, I know that their visual comes up on there, so you'll be able to see what bank it is when you add me on LinkedIn. Put visuals on there as well. They really are attractive to the eye and they attract people more to your profile. And in the stuff that you post as well, visuals is really a great way of getting people's attention because it gives you more space on the feed. Charities and volunteering. Some people miss that out as well, but this is about your personal brand. Have you been a school governor? Do you volunteer at any charities? People are warm to people. It's that social hook. So I myself do a lot of charities work. I do training with a big charity, major national charity, and that's all on there. So I want you to think about what you can put, because people like people that give back as well. It's not all about selling. LinkedIn is about selling yourself, not selling a product. So what kind of person, what is your social conscience? So putting those on there is also important. Some recommendations. Now, recommendations is just, well, the key, because we talked about so what. We talked about who says that. Those are absolutely the way for people to look and see what you do. Those are how people will look and say, yes, she helped this person do this. He's a changed man since then because they said so. And the fantastic thing about LinkedIn is that no one can post a recommendation that you haven't approved. So when somebody does a recommendation for you, it comes to you for approval. So if you weren't happy, not that it would happen, I've never ever. I personally have never gone back to anybody and asked for them to change a recommendation because I like it to be completely authentic and in their language. But if you did have a customer who was less than happy with the service, you wouldn't have to put it on there, it wouldn't go on there. And if they did put it on a feed, it's a bit like Twitter, so it's going to go, it's not going to stay. So recommendations is completely win-win, because you get to read the recommendation before it goes live. So recommendations give you that rubber stamp and give you that credibility, so they're absolutely vital. Also, it's vital to have them across all of your experience. So I would recommend going back to people that you know in previous jobs, adding them on. You know, did this person used to be a bank manager? Did this person used to be an area retail manager? Because then you've got that authenticity and that credibility throughout your career, which is really important. So don't just think about, if you're going to go away now and take action and look at this LinkedIn, don't just think about what you're doing now. Think about your whole career. Endorsements. So endorsements, when you get to 99 plus, then it stops, it says 99 plus. So whatever business it is that you're doing, so as a coach, if I've got a skill as coaching, how fantastic that 99 people plus have validated me as a coach. So whatever you choose to have as your skills, those are the things that people will endorse you for. Now, one of the things that, you know, is so important is that you give back. So all of social media, and Millie alluded to it earlier, it's about reciprocation, it's about reciprocity. So if you endorse your friends and your connections for the skills that they have, then they're going to endorse you. And then also what's going to happen is you're going to come up on people's feeds more to recommend that they endorse you. So it's a win-win. So your aim is to get your core skills to 99 plus. Now, if you all know you've only got 100 connections, you've got some work to do. So endorsements and recommendations give you that so what. Now, LinkedIn etiquette. So who goes networking? Who goes face-to-face networking? That's 99% of you. So when you go networking, if you walk into the breakfast meeting or the pub, or wherever the networking is, if someone had a badge on and it said, I'm 50 today, or 20 today, or it's my birthday, would you not say happy birthday? You would. If you walk in, do you say good morning? You do. If someone said to you, oh, you say, what do you do? And they say, oh, such a... And funny enough, today I've been in business for 5 years. Would you say congratulations? So LinkedIn has that social etiquette as well. It's not Facebook, and some people have actually sort of said, oh, it's getting like Facebook. It's not getting like Facebook, but these are the things. How long you've been in business, how long you've worked for a company, how long your career has spanned. It's information that when people come to you now for what you're doing today, they want to know. So that is one of the credibility and endorsements that goes through LinkedIn. So up where your picture is, on the right hand side is a little box, and it appears every day, and it gives you 15 things that you didn't know or are happening to your network. And it will say whose birthday it is, it will say how long they've been in business, it will say if they've changed jobs, it will say all these kind of things, and you can like or you can congratulate, and it takes seconds. You can flick through those 15, and then you will appear on these feeds, and then people will stay connected with you. Because there are people on there that you probably haven't seen for years, but it doesn't mean that you stop knowing them. It means that you want to keep them there, and that they're validation for what you've done, or they may need your services in the future. So we need to keep those lines of communication open. So birthdays, job anniversaries, new jobs, we need to recognise that amongst our connections. Who to add and who not to, well, we covered that. It's everyone. So you add everyone you meet, and you accept everybody who wants to be accepted. And then you contact them. You don't just accept them and that's it. And that's where it doesn't work. It's about thanking them for adding. They're adding you to their network. They're endorsing you as someone that they know. And they're endorsing your professionalism and what you do. So you thank them for adding you to that network. And what to say in messages: thank you, nice to see you. Every message should begin with something that's in the past, and it should end with something in the future. So you'll start the message with how you knew them or how you met them. You'll reflect on that, and then at the end you'll be happy. Have a happy birthday if it was one of those messages, or it'll be have a great weekend. At the moment I'm favouring enjoy your bank holiday. But it's about making sure that we make these connections, because this is social networking. This is networking online, anytime, day or night. This is networking, the same as when you go for breakfast. And it's better for your waistline. Sharing is caring. So you should be liking, sharing, commenting on other people's things. And one of the things that blogging, and we talked about blogging in the first session, and the importance of blogging and how blogging is the must do. Well, you just put your blogs onto LinkedIn. So you'll cut and paste, you'll put them as posts, and they stay on there forever. And people are constantly reading posts that I put on over a year ago. They'll come back, and it gives you an update as to how many are looking at it. So as long as what you're blogging is the same as we discussed earlier, it's about helping people, it's about giving people information, why wouldn't you put it on LinkedIn? And it's there. And I actually know someone who had a book that they wrote, and they were cutting parts out of it, you know, and blogging it in different things. And someone cut and pasted it and kind of farmed it off as their own. But when you actually put them on LinkedIn, they stay there forever, and you've got that copyright thing on there that they know the date that you put that and that you wrote it. So it's also very useful if the stuff that you're writing is pretty fantastic and people are taking it and not giving you the credit, then you've got proof that it was yours. So on LinkedIn, underneath your picture, before you go to your summary, we'll have some of the posts, the more recent posts. I think it's the 4 latest posts that you had. And people then as well can go back and read that stuff that you've written. So what to post? Interesting stories, articles, blogs, pictures. It all depends really what it is that you do. But again, Google, you just Google it, you'll type it in, coaching ideas, network marketing strategies, social media strategies, what's new in accountancy. It doesn't really matter, you'll always find something, and you can press images as well, and then images will come up that relate. You can put your videos on, there's a wealth of what you can put. And everything you put just really needs to be about you to attract people to your post. So, what do I do next? Where do I start? Go away and look at your post, your profile. Go away and look at your picture. Go away and look at whatever it is that you've got as your job title. Have a look at your summary. Have a look if you've got shopping lists. And start to write that list about who you are. Write that list about what it is that's your unique selling point, what it is that's different about you. And I want you to go away and work on it and work on your connections. I want you to start saying happy birthday. I want you to start saying 15 years as an SME, awesome. I want you to show people that you're part of their network and that you're not just a number, you're proactively in this relationship. And at the end of the day on LinkedIn, you can get headhunted, you can get freelance work, you can get contract work. It's not even just about getting individual clients, it can be people, all sorts. It's a wealth of opportunity. It also gives you lots of data, so you need to get to an all-star profile. So as you go away and as you start to work on it, your goal is to be an all-star. So when you're an all-star, you've got the most that can be filled in on there. So if you look at where the top is, there's a little circle, and as it fills, it will tell you where you are and how much work you need to do. So LinkedIn, it's about you. It's all about you. It's about what you offer. It's about how visible you are within the network of people that you know. It's about what is your credibility, what is your skill, what is your unique selling point, and what is your why. Why do you do what you do? Why are you so passionate about what you do? So once you have all those components on there, you'll become a LinkedIn magnet, and people will come to you and they will connect with you and they will be asking you for advice. They'll be going onto your website, because of course you've got your website on there. Also, what you can do, every time you put on LinkedIn a post, you can send it straight to Twitter. So it just goes to Twitter straight away. So I would never put anything on LinkedIn that I didn't want to share on Twitter, because as Millie said, you've got about 2 minutes before your history on Twitter. So the more that you can put things on there, then the more you've got an appearance on Twitter. So, what are you waiting for? You sat here, you told me you were all on LinkedIn. Then you told me none of you are getting any business or clients. Now I ask you, are you surprised?